Welcome everyone. Today we are with Chirag. Chirag, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Chirag. I'm currently studying computer science at IIT Delhi, and today we're going to talk about like IIT JEE, Brain Drain, and education system of India in general.
That's great. Like none of us actually know what goes down inside IIT or how does the education system or the academic calendar is inside IIT. Like what is the big deal about IIT? So you would be our inside man who would tell us everything, right?
Yeah,
Nice, nice. So you had thoughts regarding the admission process, like how the JEE mains exam takes place, and what did you want to tell the audience who are listening to us right now?
the education system in India like is has a flaws, some flaws. Like, I think
Hmm.
the new education system that has been proposed is a very
Hmm.
very good measure towards like better education system. So like in the previous education system from which we went through, we had to decide in 11th grade what we want to do, and that's a very very big decision for someone to take, like especially in 10th grade. I don't think a lot of us have like a lot of experience. We
Hmm.
study like a little bit of sciences, we study social sciences, we study math, some languages here and there, but choose commerce because that's what you're interested in, and 1 year later you will decide that, oh, commerce is not for me, and
Hmm.
I'm actually good at sciences, I want to shift to sciences. That would
Hmm.
be a major change, and it's almost impossible at that point to do so.
Right, right. There's a huge gap between the subjects we are studying. There's no, if I'm talking in terms of a Venn diagram, there's no overlap region. If we draw a Venn diagram of these main three streams, there is a very less overlap region. Once you commit to a stream, wiggle space is very less. The chances of discovering, like the discovering phase is almost zero, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So coming specifically to IIT Delhi and its academic calendar, how is the whole year divided in terms of semesters or years? Can you tell more about that?
Yeah, so like there are two courses which you can study like as an undergraduate entering. One is a simple bachelor's degree, one is an integrated bachelor's and master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
So an bachelor's degree is a 4 year degree, and a bachelor's and master's degree is a 5 year degree. So you have to complete certain number of credits. So the topics which we have to cover are basic sciences, engineering arts, humanities, department core, department elective, open category, and non-graded. These are the seven categories of courses that we have to do, and these are spread out over the 4 years or 5 years of your course. So coming to a bachelor's degree. So a bachelor's degree is a 4 year degree. First year for bachelor's and integrated bachelor's and master's is it's common for every branch. You study engineering arts. You study topics such as physics, chemistry, engineering, design, and visualization, which are kind of used in almost every aspect of engineering. So they are basic, and also the reason for this is many people want to change their branch after choosing a branch, because the main thing in IITs is that you don't choose a branch which you are most interested in. You choose the branch that you can get according to your rank.
Right, right, right. This is actually a very disheartening fact about our education system. I think the audience is also aware about this because many of my friends and your friends have gone through the this selection process or the process of giving the exams and realizing they're coming short of the rank of their desired subject they wanted to pursue.
Yeah, true. And then there are the non-graded courses. Non-graded courses are non-graded as the name suggests. These courses aren't graded. These courses are meant to change the perspective of the student and to enhance his personality. So these
Nice.
include literature studies, these include ethics studies, and these include design studies. Like in design, for example, you can work with a professor on his research project. You can go for an internship. Many people go to rural parts of India, and they build machines and robots that can help the rural parts of India, such as a friend of mine went to Kharagpur and they made a robot that can help in cutting of the rice. So
That's
there are
like
a lot of design
amazing,
studies.
right? I guess the this kind of exposure is what IIT is famous about because other colleges, I can tell from my experience, this level of exposure is not there because at the end of the day, the university or the college acts as a bubble bubble universe for the world. Like it's a small representation of the real world out there, and students are unable to balance their knowledge, what they learn from inside the bubble, and apply it outside the bubble. So this exercise of going out to the rural areas and helping in real world scenarios, I guess this helps in reducing that bubble gap. What I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Can you tell me, because you are doing computer science right now, and there has been this huge craze about AI and machine learning. What are your views on that?
Yeah, like I think AI and machine learning in general has existed since like the 60s and the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
But the main reason, like if you have to train a good AI algorithm or you have to train a good machine learning model, you need lots of data and you also need high computing power. These two have been available only since the late 2000s. Like even in early 2000s, they were like very slow laptops. If you consider like 80s or 90s, they had like mainframe, big computers that had very small computing power. Like today, our phones have like way higher computing power like than the supercomputers in the 80s.
Correct, correct. I've read that fact that the power of the PC which landed this eagle which landed the eagle on the moon had less computing power than the Apple Watch right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like biggest reason is Moore's law. Like Moore's law states that it's a very interesting law.
Talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old kid because I am in mechanical engineering. So tell me about Moore's law as if you're talking to a 5-year-old kid and trying to explain him the Moore's law.
Okay, I'll try. So, like, what happens is the more transistors is a device that can like compute that basically computes anything. So the more transistors that you can pack in a chip, the more compute power that has. So like basically Moore's law states that there are more like every year the number of transistors that can be fit inside a chip is doubled, and which has been true since like past 30 or 40 years. Like every year the number of transistors that can the state of the art that exists in chips and transistors, every year the compute power increases, and so the compute power has increased like tremendously.
Right,
So
right,
like
right.
the computing power has like increased like exponentially since like the 30 years, 40 years. And also one biggest reason is that we can now collect way
Data.
more data. So the amount of space and amount of resources needed to store something has also decreased tremendously. And also the data capabilities. Like now we live in an age of social media and internet. So it's very easy to collect information. It's very easy to send information. So data has increased, storage of data has increased, and processing power has increased. So these have, I think, made AI possible. Like there was AI in the 60s and 70s, but people thought that it's a fad and it won't amount to anything because they didn't have enough data, they didn't have enough computing power to actually create an ML model that can work. Nowadays, I can just sit on my laptop, download a dataset, download some software, and create an ML model that predicts whether the photo is a dog or a cat.
Nice, nice. So one thing I wanted to clarify is, which I noticed is when you're talking about machine learning, you're talking about a model, mathematical model, and when you're talking about AI, you're talking about an algorithm.
Well, since I don't have a lot of experience, but what my experience is in AI and ML, yeah, I guess they are mostly like the same. So AI is basically, I think, the ability that a computer can like it has intelligence and can predict or do something on its own. Machine learning is the process of teaching a machine how to do something.
Amazing. Like this is, I think this is the best way that you can put it to a 5-year-old kid. Like you can tell him that this thing. Nice,
Yeah, I guess.
nice. Chirag and I were together in the same school till 10th, I guess, right?
Yeah, 10th grade.
And what the one thing I noticed that Chirag played NFS Most Wanted like day and night, and that game I know anyone who has played racing games knows Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005. What is the big deal about this game, Chirag?
I think it's like the OG racing game. It was like the first racing game that had like it had great graphics for its time. It had like amazing gameplay. It had amazing songs. It was a very also like I was like 7 or 8 when I started playing it. So I think it also like represents a major part of my childhood. I think that's why I have an emotional connection to it.
Same man, because it was the most accessible game you can get. It was very light in terms of the storage it occupied in your PC. Right now, there are games who take up 40 to 60 GBs of place in your laptop. And I guess that goes with the thing that you just mentioned, that data storage has become easy, so that processing power has increased, and hence more heavy games are being made nowadays. The way NFS Most Wanted 2005 was structured, you had clear goals. From rank 15, you had to go to rank 1. There were
Yeah,
clear
exactly.
set goals, and each goal had a specific subtask. And now, when you come to 2012, the same game, they even use the same name to get more hype about it. And when you play that game, it's like a little haphazard. Everything is spread out on the map, and it's just a bit confusing. Simple as that. Connecting your stream to this, what we are talking about right now, what is the future of gaming like? Because this is a fact, the gaming industry is actually larger than the film industry, music industry combined.
Yeah.
So
In fact,
as
I
a,
think it's bigger than the sports industry as well.
I'm not sure about that. I request my listeners to tell us about this in the comment section. uh, but let's come back to the topic, that gaming industry is fucking huge. And right now, how do you see it, like in the next 10 years? How will this computational power, CG, and the storage things combine all together create future of games?
The graphics is becoming increasingly better. AI
Mm-hmm.
is becoming increasingly better. So you have more complicated, intelligent peers in the games, and like
Hmm.
basically you're interacting with more intelligent kind of objects, or you can say objects or humans, or like ways of playing. It has like amazing like opportunities. Consider like VR and AR for example. Like that's
Hmm.
like something that has beginning to emerge. Like even Oculus and other gaming industries are trying to figure out how to use VR and AI.
I guess the best example would be Half-Life 1 and 2, which were completely computer based. And when the fans and the community kept on requesting, bring us Half-Life 3, bring us Half-Life 3, and Half-Life 3 came out as a VR game. So that was a huge step in the direction towards what you're talking about, augmented reality and VR.
Yeah, true.
Let's talk about one final thing. What do you think about the brain drain situation? Like people from India leaving the country after their BTech or MTech or anything, and then going to countries like USA, England, or Canada, and then working over there. Why is this happening? Because I read about the Google Loon program, right?
Know a little bit about it, not a
I'll
lot.
tell the listeners and you about what is Google Loon. Basically, Google is using hot air balloons and providing free internet connection to sub-Saharan regions. So these regions do not have established long-range electricity and wires. So to provide internet, what they are doing, they're suspending hot air balloons that travel on their own in the stratosphere with the help of winds, and they provide internet connection to these countries and regions. Now, it's a very good idea. I agree. And they have had success with it. The issue I have right now is the same idea was given in Tata Research Facility by an Indian 2 years before this official launch of this project in Google. Now, tell me one thing. If that guy who gave the idea, I'll include the link of the article from which I'm quoting this. Why does India not promote innovation?
Well, the thing with innovation is that it costs a lot of money, and there's a lot of risk. And there's like if you can put billions and billions of dollars into a project,
Right.
and it might amount to nothing.
Google is risking so much money in this project Loon, and that is why I guess that connects to the brain drain problem, because people who are actually interested in creating something, doing something, at the end of the day, they have to get up and get out of the nation and join a powerhouse like Google, Apple to do their creative work. Because when we talk about engineers, we don't imagine them to be creative, but the reality is you have to think really differently to come out with solutions, right? And uh, in a country like ours, with the education system like ours, where creativity is pushed out of the curriculum thoroughly, and then I see situations like this when the Project Loon could be initiated in India itself, and now the Indian government is paying Google to do the same thing in India. So it just comes back to you, and makes you think that what is happening with the brain drain situation. For now, let's leave it here and continue the discussion in the second part of the series. I know it's kind of bummer to leave it like this, but I guess in a way it gives you time to yourself think about something, form your own opinions, and then become part of the discussion, and maybe just maybe find a solution to it.